it's Candy. I thought I would take a minute to actually introduce myself or reintroduce myself to some of you who may have known me as my communities are expanding. And I also feel really called to share with you some of the things that are expanding and dropping in as it's going to change the trajectory a bit of the work that I'm doing. And so, because the work that I'm doing involves you and is a space where I get to pour into you, I want to let you know what's happening. And so, for those of you that don't know me, I am Candy Barone. I live in Austin, Texas with my sweet baby boy, Peyton Wrigley, who is a little fur baby. He will be 11 October 13th, or at least for what I know. We assume the day I adopted him was his year birthday. And so he and I have been together now for a decade. It's just crazy, but he is truly my ride or die. He is my mascot. He is my sidekick. He is, you know, whatever you want to call him. He is the love of my life and brings me so much joy. And what's interesting is I talk a lot about Peyton, and many of you that have followed me for a while. You know, I post about Peyton all the time for a couple reasons. One, because I find so many times we have limiting beliefs around what's possible for us and what we're capable of. And I've had people say, I can't do that. I have kids, or I can't do this. I'm limited. And I will tell you that I built this business because I wanted to spend time on my terms with my dog, building the life that I wanted to create. And I've reset my business a few times around my dog. And as he's getting into his senior years and as he's showing signs of aging, he's got arthritis in his back hip. He's a lot slower on our walks. It's had me look and evaluate around what I want to be doing and how I want to be showing up and how I get to serve. And so I say that because it's possible that if something is so deeply connected in your heart, if something is part of your ikigai, part of your light, part of your purpose, that you can pivot, you can redirect at any time. And so I say that because one of my lessons to this journey has been giving myself permission to pivot. And as I've learned the power of the pivot, I've also leaned heavily into my human design and gene keys. And so some of you have had some, familiarity with your human design gene keys. You know, I've talked about it here and there. I've actually spent more time digging into that work. And so while it's not this is who you are and this is how you're structured, it's just an energetic blueprint for you to have a better understanding of your own wiring, of your own coding, of the soul contract you sign coming into this earth. One of the things I've really understood about myself is I am a 6-2 manifesting generator with an emotional authority, which means I am here to do really big things and stir some massive shit up and disrupt and create new paths for possibilities. And while the one aspect of me is I love to be out, I love to do this, I love to connect, I love to influence, I love to create energy and passion around things, and I like to be on stage, and I like to work a room, and I like to train, there's the other side of me that is this introverted, wanting to cave out, really a hermit. And so it's interesting when we see that we all have this juxtaposition or this duality, right? We have this space where we probably have things about us that are very extroverted and we can get some energy from other people. And then we may have this space where we like to just kind of close off. And for me, it is very drastic. I'm either out or I'm in. And when I hermit, it really is this space to kind of cave out, go deep, go dark, get off the grid, kind of like I've done the last couple of months. And so it's a time where I get to really assess who I am and think about what's really important for me and my core values and my standards of integrity. And so I thought I would take a minute because the things that are showing up, it feels important to communicate because I think we have an opportunity to remind ourselves that we don't need to be in these boxes that we've put around ourselves. We don't need to put ourselves in a cage of what we think we're supposed to be because it makes other people comfortable. I have never my whole life made most people comfortable. I am finally at 49 years old getting really comfortable knowing that. And I say that because I am not logical. And it's crazy because for those of you that don't know, I have a background in mechanical engineering. I have a bachelor's of science in mechanical engineering. I even started 2 master's programs in engineering. And yet I'm not logical. I'm not logical. I'm not linear. I'm not rational. Um, I'm not good with defined structures and rules and protocol. I am a tree shaker. I am here to fully disrupt. I am here to play devil's advocate. I am here to derail agendas. I am here to push buttons and stir the pot and question everything. I can remember growing up and drove everybody crazy, but my favorite expression was why. Well, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Well, some of that's my open head and my open ajna, which is just I can see all the possibilities and I get inspired by everything. And I love to know the rabbit holes and the tangents of where things came from. And sometimes I ask the question just because I like the question. I don't always need the answer, but I'm curious. And I've always been really curious. I've had an active imagination. I could create entire cities. It was funny when The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe actually became a movie. One of my favorite books as a kid was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, and then Wrinkle in Time by Madeline Engel. And I remember when I saw that movie, it was like someone reached into my childhood imagination and put it on the screen. I mean, I went to Narnia. I would read that book in my closet and I would transport myself to Narnia. I would go into these other portals. And, you know, as a kid, people would say to me, oh, you're too imaginative. You're too big of a thinker. You're too passionate. You're too. And what's interesting is all of that twoing all over me, all of those two boxes people tried to cram me in are all of the things that make me who I am. And so there's this space where I felt kind of like an outsider looking in, a space where I've been weird, a space where I haven't felt like I fit. And what's interesting is once I got into my human design, once I got into my gene keys, I realized it's because I don't. I'm not here to fit. And even recently, and I did some video and a blog post about this recently, I had taken on a collaboration that I thought made sense because it was a system I could plug into. And what happened within 4 months was that my nervous system started to like activate in a way that didn't feel good. It actually felt like my nervous system was on the outside of my body. And so it brought me back into my design. It brought me back into understanding what am I missing, right? And sure enough, the thing that showed up was I'm not here to fit in on a system that already exists. And many of you feel that. Many of you are here depending on your soul contract, depending on your strategy, your authority, your design. You're here to play a different game. You're here to be the light warriors that are going to change our current reality. It's to dream greater. It's to dream bigger. It's to stop putting ourselves in spaces that make us feel small, that are from a place of fear. We're here to transmute that fear into light. We're here to bring that into something. And so I recognize that calling. I recognize what's being dropped in. And it's crazy because even before I went off the grid a little bit this summer, I took sort of 2 months off that was not planned. I remember going in and feeling the magnitude of what was starting to come and what was starting to roll. And for the first time, and I will say this, I mean, I've had moments where I've gotten excited, but there's still been this like, ooh, I don't know. You know, I feel the download, I feel the calling, and I'm like, ooh, I know you want me to do X, but can't I do like Y? This is the first time I'm not afraid of it. This is the first time I'm not afraid of what's coming through. And I see such a play space for possibility that I actually feel really lit up. And you may have noticed, I mean, even in my videos that are coming out right now, there's just a different energy. Even though it's big energy, there's a grounding to it. There's a better balance between my healthy masculine and my healthy feminine. Which has been a whole learning in and of itself, and the fact that so looks differently for everybody, right? And we don't need to get caught up in the divine goddess feminine. Stop. We have all these things we think we're supposed to show up as, and so when I say I'm not linear, I'm not logical, I'm dynamic, I'm fluid, I'm in flow. I'm here to bend time. I'm here to quantum leap. I'm here to stop accepting this reality that we have collectively created as the what's all that's available for us. I don't believe that. Every cell in my body activates when I think about playing in the power of possibilities. When I think about creating these pop-up spaces where we can lean in and co-create something that maybe we have forever thought wasn't possible, that we could let go of all the rules and the programming and the stories and the beliefs and the conditioning, and we can step into a place to say yes in a way that says, I have no fucking idea what this is going to bring or what it's going to mean. Yes, I'm fully in to go down whatever rabbit hole and to see what shows up and to just stay curious about it all. And so I say that because as things have been shifting for me, I feel very powerfully like I am able to stand in a space that says, I finally see who I am. I see who I am and who I'm choosing to become. And we always have free will, right? Regardless of our design, our soul contract, any of that, we always have the power of choice. So when I think about the fact that my entire framework has been built around a couple concepts, one around how to say yes to yourself. And when I say yes, same name as my company, everything, yes means you empowered strong. It is a space where I truly believe that no one can empower you without your permission. It's kind of like no one can motivate you. It's an intrinsic thing that I get to choose, you get to choose, that says, I choose to be empowered. I choose to take my power from within and use it to guide me to do the work that's calling me, to stand in my purpose, knowing I am my purpose. And so when I think about that space of helping you say yes to yourself, and then understanding that leadership is a choice, that we all have an opportunity and responsibility to stand in our own leadership. And it means leading ourselves. It's not about changing the world. It's about owning and changing the way you are choosing to show up, the way you're choosing to serve others, and the way you're choosing to take personal responsibility inside that space. It's about us leading from within, leading from love with love. It's about us standing in a space that says, I know that I am either intentionally doing my living legacy or my living legacy is doing me. And legacy is not something that happens when you leave this earth. Legacy happens in every moment you interact, you engage. Right now, just you and I being here together, we're creating a living legacy. There's an energy, there's a vibration, there's a frequency that is created, that creates a ripple effect, that butterfly effect, that we change the way we show up. It's why all of us have an opportunity to step into our gifts. And now your gift might not be going on video and having these conversations and sharing. That I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you to do you in the spaces that light you up, that feel congruent and in integrity with who you are, that you leading you. And honestly, it could be nothing more than how you're nourishing your mind, body, and spirit, how you're activating your genius. It could be in how you're raising your kids. It could be in how you're raising your dog. It could be in just how you show up in your community. It could be how you show up for yourself. It doesn't have to be this grandiose thing of, I'm going to change the world. We need to let go of that. It's not about changing the world. It's about getting intentional and being in and on purpose with what you came into this life to offer and how you came into this life to serve. We all are here for a really significant, powerful reason. There's no accident that any one of us is here. And there's no accident that not one of us is wired exactly the same. I mean, you think about, we have our own thumbprint, our own voice print. We're unique snowflakes, unicorns. There's a reason we don't look the same, we don't act the same, we don't dress the same. And when we keep trying to be the Stepford whatever and fit in this box of all the same, we're missing the magic and the miracle of what makes us different. And here's the crazy part. While we're different, we are all just the same. We come from the same source. We come from the same light, the same endless, unlimited, just it's container of love. And we've all been given these nuances so that we can show up in different experiences. We can evolve differently so that collectively we can lift the level of consciousness, we can raise the level of leadership, and we can create more expansive realities for all of us. And again, it starts with just leading yourself. And so I get really fired up. I honestly believe, and I've walked into this in several ways. And one of the things I tell people is, look, I am here to light a fire under your ass so that you can keep lighting and keep the fire within lit. Truly, 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 it's not that I just help people step into leadership. That is what I do. And leadership being your leadership, whatever that means for you, you saying yes to yourself and leading yourself first to be able to step into your leadership, into your fullness, and into your greatness. I also help people learn how to lead their living legacy, how to be intentional around what they want others to experience, how they want to show up and inspire and influence and impact, how they want to serve at their highest and best level and capacity. And I help people get lit. Like, who doesn't want to live a lit life? I just recently read Shaman Durek's book, Spirit Hacking, which, oh my God, so fucking unbelievable. And he just talks about living a lit life. And I'm like, that's what I help people do. I help you get lit. It's lighting that fire. It's knowing how to stoke and keep that fire lit and burning. And how do you step into the fullness of who you are and who you're becoming? And with permission to live your most authentic, most delicious, juiciest kick-ass life. And so I think about that. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to activate. And I want to start tapping into spaces for people to be in this conversation. We are missing the ability to connect and communicate. We are missing the ability to be in communion together, to collectively put our lights together. And for those of you that know me, you know I love to use the analogy of, as light warriors, as enlightened leaders, as those who are stepping into your next level of who you are and how you get to show up in your fullness in this world. Because we are not available for playing small anymore in any fucking area of your life. I'm just telling you right now, we're done with that. I'm done with playing small in any area of my life. And I want those people that feel that same fire, feel that same urge. Because when you think about the opportunities that are before us, that when we link arms together, we become the Care Bears. And so think about it. I love the Care Bears. And they're so brilliant, that cartoon. They all had their little emblem on their stomach, right? And they all had this unique gift, whether it was the 4-leaf clover, so they brought luck, or whether it was the hearts, they brought love, or whether it was whatever it was, each one of them, even the rabbit and the raccoon, and they all had their own emblem. And while they could do so much by putting their light in the world, they could diffuse the darkness, they could transmute it, they could bring it to life. The really big, heavy stuff, they never went out alone. It was only when they came together, when they linked arms, when they would say, Care Bear Stare, right? And they would all put their unique light out collectively together. Could they change things? Could they really take the darkness out? And so I think about, we all have the opportunity to shine our light every day. We all have the opportunity, and sometimes that means resting. By the way, it doesn't mean that you're on all the time. I just said I came out of 2 months being off the grid. Sometimes it just means resting. Other times it means just showing up in your fullness. Put your light out there. Everywhere that light goes, you're transmuting darkness. Everywhere that you're shining that light, you're putting love into the world. You're leading with love from love. And how do we build our communities, our tribes, our families in a way, and our spiritual families? I'm not just talking about your, human family. I'm talking about, how do we create these communities where we can link arms and align those lights together? Because if each one of us said yes to ourselves, if each one of us got aligned as fuck and stepped into who we were and led our life intentionally from that space, we could change everything. And so I get super passionate about that. And that's who I am. That's what I do. That's why I'm here. In addition to that, I am a crazy, obsessive about baseball. I swear to God, it's in my blood. For those of you that don't know, my great grandmother, Helene Hathaway Robeson Britton, was actually the first woman to own a Major League Baseball team. She owned the St. Louis Cardinals for 6 years before women could even vote. So there's that in my blood. Baseball's in my blood. So I'm a huge diehard Chicago fan. I love my Cubs. I love my Bears. I love my Blackhawks. And I love to read. I am a voracious reader. I love to experience new things. I am a nature girl at heart. especially when I'm needing to go dark and cave out. You will find me on the trails. You will find me under the trees. You will find me near the water or in the mountains. Um, every way that I can breathe in Mother Earth and Gaia and connect to her in a way that's powerful feeds my soul. I am no longer available for the things in my life that don't feed my soul. And so I want to help you, guide you in finding those things that light you up, finding those things that feed your soul. And so I welcome you to our community. I look forward to the amazing things we're going to co-create together. And I'm here, I'm listening, I'm watching, and I'm activating and want to play in that space with those who want to activate as well. So with that, just know I deeply am grateful for you being here. It is truly an honor and a divine privilege and blessing to do this work. And so I hope you're ready to step up because things are about to get really real and we're about to level up in a really powerful, just fantastically delicious way. And I cannot wait to explore the rabbit holes with you. So with that, this is Candy and I love you so much. And we will be talking soon.